This week's episode of the Mudshow Dirt Sheet is brought to you by Cody Rhodes. Because we get it, Cody. Nobody likes us either.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second filmed episode of the Mudshow Dirt Sheet. Tim's sitting up straight. I'm sitting here with a wide stance. We are ready to go.
Man, you ever watch yourself record a podcast and just think, man, my posture is not good?
Look like a fucking banana.
Look like a lowercase J.
Look like the goddamn flippers from Radical.
Man, I was bent over. I was slouching.
Yeah, bad, and sometimes you learn things about yourself when you're podcasting about AEW wrestling.
God, that was probably the best transition of the show. All we do here, all we're about is fantasy booking AEW Dynamite. Mm-hmm. Talking about what we want to see happen from all of our favorite matches, including the very talented reality television star Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. And Tim, we take into, if we guess correctly, we take that into account?
In terms of like a score or a tracking
set,
not this week or like 48 weeks out of the year.
Absolutely fucking not is the correct answer to that.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck about wins and losses if in this sense of our predicting abilities. What we do care about is marijuana,
cannabis, and
numbers,
cable ratings.
And demos.
Oh, yeah.
Last week, for those of you who tuned in, which 14 of them probably?
I didn't check, but it's pretty safe to say
probably
14.
Right around 14 of you listened, and we appreciate that.
Every single one of you. Ryan counted y'all.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
Hey, shout out number 9.
That's
being there for, thick and thin.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We guessed the over, the under. Last week, I guessed 850. It was 898. Tim guessed the over, and Tim had the demo at 0.36. I guessed under, and it was 0.31.
We're both watching Hamilton with no sound.
So as a dumb punishment, we're both watching Hamilton in silence.
Sometimes it feels like a dumb punishment is a good punishment.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do it, it means it's a good punishment.
Yeah. And this is something that I don't want to do.
Can we live stream that to YouTube, executive producer Griffin? Just us looking up at the screen every once in a while and going, man, it's even pretty good with no sound.
Boy, we get 14 people to listen to our podcast. We think anybody's going to watch a live stream of us watching Hamilton in silence going, this is still fine. This is still fine.
I mean, I know all the words.
I still really like this.
I can hear it in my head.
Never be satisfied.
Man, I heard Wait For It for the first time in 2 months after a little bit of time away. Mm-hmm. Do be hitting different, though.
Yeah.
Theodosia writes me a letter every day.
We take no time off on the Hamilton at work. We listen to it every Friday, right at noon, till 2:44.
See, I respect that, but, I mean, you just give it a little room to breathe, and it's like seeing it with fresh eyes for the first time again.
Yeah, man, sometimes you just want to be around the things you love all the time.
I get it. I get it. And speaking of things we love all the time, what's the punishment for this week's episode?
Eat pho with a fork. You gotta go to Vietnam House, and you can't use chopsticks.
Woof.
I'm gonna up the stakes.
Uh-oh.
Can't use a spoon. All you can use is a fork.
Fork and sucking bowl.
And when you're eating wings, you got to use the fork to pull the meat off the bone. The only thing you can use the entire time. You have to bring food to your mouth with the fork. That's the only way food can enter your mouth.
Can't even suck the bowl?
Oh, you can suck the bowl.
Okay, but the fork's got to be in the bowl.
Oh yeah.
Using it like a trap door to keep all the particulate out.
And that will be paid up next Tuesday.
Yeah, and if any friends of the show want to come to our best friend of the show, Vietnam House, you're more than welcome to watch Ryan eat pho with a fucking fork.
Not a fucking chance. God, I hope not.
I hope so.
I'm going to ask for a table of one in the back corner. Nobody look at me.
I hope Tien's wife comes over and sees you, and she's just appalled. agog, aghast.
I'm gonna ask TN's wife to seat me in the back room that I've never sat in yet. Still the expansion. Can you sit me back there? We don't open that up until we need it. And I'm like, yeah,
we need it.
I need it for me.
Can't be seen like this. Just bring it and don't come back.
God,
I'll come out when I'm ready.
It's a shitty punishment. Thank you to art director, executive producer, and filmographer Griffin for that punishment.
Another new job title, man. Young man is rising in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy because now you can't hold that shit that you do more than me on this over my head anymore because Griffin does everything else.
Yeah, true. Yeah. True.
So now you just
now
have
I'm just
to
the
show
bad
up.
one.
Now you'd show up as a talent. So.
God, feels good to be talent, doesn't it?
I was going to say, it's the first time anybody called you talent. Oh, shit. Griffin said that we couldn't smoke for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes.
Make eye contact with him. Don't even blink. God, I bet this is good on podcast.
Oh, yeah. Everybody on the podcast, meet Meg.
Meg's a real sweetheart.
She's a thick bitch.
I mean, you said her name already. People know.
People knew. Oh, my God. There we go. Now this podcast is going to turn up. It's going to be way better.
Ryan, tell him about the card while I get myself situated a little bit.
Absolutely. We got a stacked card today, actually, especially with we're recording Tuesday morning, which is just absolutely insane for us. But we got a little early match. Normally, Tony saves these for later. We got the Lee Moriarty match and CM Punk. We have Bryan Danielson versus Allen Five Angels. We have Chris Statlander versus Roby Soho in the TBS title eliminator tournament. We have the tag match.
Yeah, Gun Club versus Darby and Sting.
Thank God getting that Gun Club back on TV again where they belong.
Yeah, especially after that worrying controversy with Austin Gunn.
Yeah. Can I tell you something that I love about us compared to other IWC, people with a following?
Tell me.
We don't fucking do cheap shit to get followers. We don't go out there and say how much we love QT Marshall. We don't go out there and say how much we love Gun Club and how they deserve shit. We just go up here and be us. If there are only 14 are you going to listen to us be us, I'd rather be that than somebody who fucking sucks on the tit of a shitty wrestler to try to get famous.
Man, it's crazy that you're just on our podcast quoting Five Finger Death Punch lyrics. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
American rock band Five Finger Death Punch.
No.
Talking about I'd rather you hate me for everything I am. Don't know why I know that because I've heard that song.
I'm going to go ahead and say it like that was filmed. Griffin, don't cut that.
My Fellowship of Christian Athletes upbringing coming out. Let's just fucking hop into Gun Club versus Darby and Sting.
Get it gone.
Probably a fine way to open the show in terms of a number.
Hey, I'm gonna
bad way to open the show in terms of wrestling. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something, and this is gonna sound crazy because if you would have listened to me 6 months ago, I like 1/4 of this match, and it's Darby.
Say who it is,
and it's Darby. Like it. It reminds me of the Britt Baker stuff. He's done enough to win me over. Like, is it going to be my favorite thing to watch? No, but every time he's on, he just puts himself in good positions. I think the MJF match did a lot for me because of my MJF fandom.
And because of how good it was?
And just because of how absolutely great. When they did the rolling pins around the ring.
Literally my favorite spot of the whole year.
I was standing up clapping for it. I was like just in our row, just cheering loudly for two guys getting just horrible 2 falls rolling around the ring, knowing that that's not how this ends.
I haven't even watched the match on pay-per-view yet, but God, is that a good match. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to, shoot you down or criticize your takes or anything, but when you really look back and see when your opinion of Darby began to change, I think there's only one variable. It's Sting. You're a huge Sting mark. That's why you love Cody Rhodes.
Sure.
And even though he's 67 years old and feuding with Billy Gunn, you just
can go.
You're in it. You're loving it.
It's funny because you're not completely wrong. Because I remember when we were in the old house, we were watching. I was watching old WCW pay-per-view, and you came over, and you were like, Look at Sting. His whole body, his whole moveset just looks like Cody, your favorite wrestler. And then I just went, huh.
Oh, Cody's just doing heel surfer Sting.
Oh, man.
Like those guys in Minecraft, Griffin, the ones that go,
I don't know about Minecraft either. God, I'm fucking so close to being out of this goddamn demo. I know none of this. I don't know Five Finger Death Punch. I don't know Minecraft. Tim, you got to stay in touch with the kids.
I'm sorry. I'm trying, man. I'm trying very hard. Like, I don't know, 35% of my friends are Zoomers, and that's crazy.
Can't wait till we have woke Sting. We had Surfer Sting. We had
the Scorpion.
Sting. We had the Scorpion, and now we're going to get woke Sting. It's going to be great.
What do you think the face paint will look like?
Similar to NWO Sting, probably.
Yeah, man. Sting's great for a 61-year-old guy. Darby is great for any age demographic or, qualifiers you want to put on there. He's just a great wrestler. And the Gun Club, current circumstances, I don't really feel like fucking talking about him. Darby Allin pins one of those two guys, and you just get this feud over and done with and off of television.
Deal.
Perfect. Let's move on to something I'm really excited for, and that's the American Dragon Bryan Danielson versus Allen 5 Angels. Did you see the audacity of this man changing his Twitter handle to the Atlantan Dragon?
Oh, yeah.
You can't be doing that.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get his fucking head kicked in is what's going to happen. He's going to get his fucking head kicked in real fucking bad.
For repeat listeners of the program, this is going to begin to sound repetitious, I imagine. But it's because Tony Khan literally said, hey, what if once a week we just had one of Hangman's friends die on TV?
In his hometown.
Oh, yeah. In front of all of his friends and family, Bryan Danielson is just going to stomp on his face till he loses a tooth.
Ish. This is great. The Bryan Danielson has been nothing but fantastic since he came to AEW, and he said he was going to put on the best matches of his years in that interview that is getting quoted all over Twitter now, and I don't see how that's not going to happen.
I mean, 3 months in, look at how many guys he's just given career level matches to. Look at his 5-star time limit draw with Kenny. Look at Miro at the pay-per-view. Look at Eddie Kingston.
Yep.
And he's only been here for like 3 months.
Yeah.
It's time to make stuff start getting... already is very spicy. I truly have not been more excited for a feud in a long time.
Yep.
I mean, Hangman Kenny, but that's because I've been excited for it since they broke up as a tag team.
Right.
But I'm ready. I would like to watch Hangman and Bryan Danielson fight now, please.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about AEW is they're not going to give you that until like January 8th or something like that. At that Battle for the Belts would be my guess is when that match comes off. I think, 5 has proven that he is good in this spot. 5 has gone up against Kenny twice and put on good matches both times. And, it seems that he just continuously is exactly what he needs to be. A guy who doesn't ever win on Dynamite, picks up Dark Order tag team victories or trios victories, and he'll be fine in that role. And, for a guy who is Mid-South champion of Atlanta East District until the pandemic hit, I'm sure he's doing more than fine with where he's at now.
It's very clear that if you have a problem with your role in AEW, you'll get a chance to do something else. And 5 did that a little bit, it feels like, started doing more stuff with the vlog crew, took the mask off. All good decisions, I think. But, fuck, can you imagine how happy a 22-year-old 5 is to, eat a Bryan Danielson loss on AEW Dynamite television?
God, with that hairline, I thought he was like 32.
No, he's young.
God.
He's younger than his cousin.
He's bald like the Blade.
He is bald like the Blade for sure, but not nearly as ripped.
No.
Be tough to be as ripped or as red as the Blade.
Yeah, I was going to say, he certainly hasn't been eating enough, what is that, niacin that makes you red?
Yeah, it is the niacin.
Niacin.
God, him and Matt Cardona, just like not the colors of any human being anywhere.
Nope.
Fucking from all that mushroom, all that niacin mushroom. Can I say something?
Sure.
5 is great.
Yep.
I am pretty sure that Bryan Danielson could coach anyone in this room to like a 3.5 star match at this point.
Oh yeah.
That dude is good at wrestling, and the fact that that's his gimmick and he's a heel, chef's kiss. It's perfect.
Yep. I just noticed that I did something. There was a dog chasing a squirrel back there, and I went like this to check it. So if you guys see things in the video, for those of you who are painfully watching us talk, I'm assuming that you're just watching the very beginning for the Grizzy videos. But yeah, anytime you see me doing like this, I'm looking at the animals out there, and there was a cute pit bull chasing a squirrel up on a power line. So
you want to hear something that would be embarrassing to say if we weren't more self-aware?
Sure.
I like tried to picture someone watching our YouTube video, and I like cringed.
Yeah. That's fine though.
It's a chiropractor trying to watch, like using
sure.
you for corrective posture.
He's like, I can fix him. It's like most girls when they meet me, I can fix him.
Pop. But for real though, like Dr. Bo Hightower, if you see this, you know.
Just chiropractor shout outs on the Mudshow dirt sheet. Oh man, fucking god damn it.
Oh
Meg,
man.
you bitch. Oh, this is your fault, Meg.
Stupid Meg.
Fucking Meg's fault.
Stupid Meg. We were talking
about 5 and Bryan Danielson. And that's the thing about 5 and Bryan Danielson is that this is just going to be great. And you know, you talked about taking his mask off and stuff. I think that should kind of just be a Dark Order thing, that we take these masks off, except for Evil Uno, who it's his gimmick. And you know, Preston Vance has kind of got a face that needs a mask with a body that needs no shirt.
It's true.
So.
It's true. If you saw Preston Vance and they were like, what would you like to see this guy wrestle? And you'd be like, you know, Venom mask and no shirt and jeans.
Yeah. He could do those trunks too. He could do like not actual trunks, but like
the CM Punk
short
trunks. Yeah. Like boxing trunks.
Yep. A little tighter though.
You should only have those for like Caesar Bononi. I think Caesar Bononi would look incredible in boxing trunks. Episode title?
Just why?
He brought up boxing trunks. I have talked on this very podcast about how I think Caesar Bononi should wear boxing trunks. It's all coming full circle.
You're just like Tony Khan. You're just doing long-term storytelling.
Yeah, absolutely.
You knew that at some point I was going to bring up some boxing trunks, and you're like, you know who would look good in boxing trunks? Cesar Bononi.
Okay. I hear your criticism that it wasn't very on point. Are you disagreeing with me?
I'm certainly not disagreeing with you. I just don't ever want to talk about the wingmen on this podcast.
Whoa, brother. It's like you tell me to watch Dark one week, you don't want me to like the wingmen the next? You're being crazy right now. Inconsistent. Fickle.
I told you to watch Dark. I didn't tell you to watch all of Dark.
You know what? Can I say something?
Sure.
The wingmen are fun. It's like, why wouldn't you want to see Peter Avalon and JD Drake hang out? What's your problem?
And Ryan Nemeth, that's my trio. That's my trio of the wingmen. Ryan Nemeth, JD Drake, and who was the other one? I just lost it.
Peter Avalon.
Yeah, there we go.
I hear you.
Cesar Bononi.
But Ryan Nemeth is crazy in a way that makes me viscerally uncomfortable.
It's so good. Such good shit.
You love it.
I'm on the set of a big-time movie, Brandon. It's the best thing on PT is Ryan Nemeth just being by himself and being absolutely out of control and just yelling at Brandon for things that he doesn't have to send Brandon. It's incredible. It's so good. And here we are talking about the wingmen.
Yeah. And that is how we feel about Bryan Danielson versus Allen 5 Angels.
And you're going with the 5 upset here?
Nope.
And then it ends the Danielson title run with the 5 upset?
I mean...
Could you imagine?
Here's the thing, man. Why don't you just give it to him? You know, we don't even have to talk about it, but let me plant that seed. Why don't you just give it to him?
Give it to him.
Just break everybody's heart right away, immediately.
That'd be great. Yeah, and I think we're going to move on. I think the women's match is the headliner, so the main event. The main event.
Keep trying it. I think one of them's going to work out
You
eventually.
recorded one of them, and it actually didn't sound too bad.
You know, I liked it, actually. I thought it was fine. I thought it was crazy that you asked me not to post it to Twitter.
Oh, man, I don't need 20 years from now somebody going, Ryan wants to post it on Twitter. A Mark Henry impression about the main event.
Pop. Oh, yeah. Let's
People
do...
like, you mean the world's strongest man that had a brief wrestling career?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Not that brief, really, when you think about it. Like 20-odd years.
For sure, less brief than his world's strongest man career.
Did he ever win a World's Strongest Man? Don't you have to win World's Strongest Man to claim the title of World's Strongest Man?
You'd think.
But I like the interview, man. It feels like AEW does a very good job of feeling like a legit thing, and that is something sports do.
And they also do a really good job of getting people out of positions that they don't thrive in, and Mark Henry was not thriving on commentary.
Was not good on commentary, but is much better at this.
Yeah.
Let's
and
do...
the community outreach stuff that he does is absolutely
huge.
great. I felt like that had to
Absolutely.
be mentioned because he, that alone, I think, is a great success for AEW for future years of it, is getting the charity stuff going early and, being good and looking good in the community.
And not just that, I think that having television vets around some of these young kids who are like, fucking working in bars 2 years ago, I think that's probably good too,
Yeah.
But let's move on. Let's talk about Lee
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Don't even cut it. Let's move on to Lee Moriarty versus CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
How long will CM Punk's pants be? If you had to guess, there are so many options now.
I think he's going to go with the long boys.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he's going to wear the long boys this week because he wore the boxing trunks at Full Gear, and then he wore trunks last week. I think he's going to go pants.
I think he's going to go like culotte. Like he's going to have a pant that stops just below the knees, but there is visible skin between the bottom of his pant and his kick pad.
I'd love to see a 3/4 length,
Yeah, like a capri.
Yeah, I love
Capri
a 3/4
M
length.
trunk, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing that I like about this match compared to last week is that you put him in there with a good wrestler before you're going to get a fire promo from CM Punk and MJF. Because last week, you just started the show with a 22-minute fucking promo. I could not believe that's how you did it, and it was incredible. It was so fucking good.
Correct. Yeah, you don't often see a 20-minute promo segment on AEW. I'm sure this is actually the first one. But when it's this good, just do it,
Yeah.
And if you want to just run it back, if you want to give them another 15, 20 on this show to yell at each other, hey, go ahead and have it, brother, because, two of the best mic workers of all time, and that's crazy considering MJF is younger than two-thirds of the room.
Fetus. Yeah.
But Lee Moriarty, man, another young guy who is just out here eating off of being a very good wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that a guy like CM Punk is like, yeah, let's do, 11 minutes of work. I'm going to body slam you 6 times. I'll sell good, and then we'll get out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking, man, can you imagine telling some of these kids like 3-4 years ago, hey, you're going to wrestle CM Punk on TV in 2021.
Yeah, on TNT.
Yeah.
Like just, what? What? You're fucking high, man. It's like, yeah, I am, but like, you are.
But this is true.
Yeah.
They can both be true, Lee Moriarty.
Yep. And the thing
who I
about,
traveled back in time to talk to.
and the thing about last week is that you had great promo. I don't remember a fucking lick of the match. Of the QT Marshall match. And that's probably not QT's fault, and it's probably not Punk's fault.
Well, it's one of their faults more than it's the other, and it's not
sure.
CM Punk.
For sure. But I think it was also that you gave me 18 minutes of fire before you did it. And part of me would have liked that if you really wanted to show that MJF's promo fired Punk up. I would have liked to see him do a squash match on QT Marshall. And
instead of a match.
And then, take him out in 3 minutes or something like that. And that's kind of what I'm hoping doesn't happen here, is that you don't get the MJF beforehand and you hear him talk about how he struggled with QT Marshall, and then you have him bury Lee. I hope that's not what happens, and I don't think it will, because CM Punk has come here to work with all the kids, all the good guys.
Here's what I'm fantasy booking in my head.
I love this part.
CM Punk beats Lee Moriarty after like 8.5, 9 minutes. And then, shakes his hand, does the Ring of Honor finish, real babyface shit. He gets out of the ring, and then MJF fucking buries Lee Moriarty from behind. Just both of them put over this young guy who's just...
I got it. Don't worry. Don't cut any of that. We're good. This is good TV.
Just put Lee Moriarty over. Just, really put him over. Have MJF talk about, he's not good enough, and have CM Punk defend him, say, you're not good enough. Just really do babyface and heel, because CM Punk did a little heel shit with Eddie Kingston, and you gotta be careful to not tease that and not spring the trap. One more. Just clear it out. But... yeah, give CM Punk a little more babyface stuff because he's fighting MJF, and make Lee Moriarty seem important.
Yeah. I didn't hear most of that, but I bet it was very good. I was coughing over here.
No, I heard it.
Tell me if I'm just saying the same shit, but I think that what they should do is they should do a heel and babyface thing with Lee Moriarty in the middle. Then you have MJF on one side. I'm just fucking with you. I heard it all.
Just out here doing it for yourself.
Just pop myself.
Love
that was
it.
Great.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, or you could just have, a decent match, and then you have Punk come out here and go, man, it took you this long to do this with this. And then you have, Lee Moriarty versus MJF next week, and that's where you do the story, same time finish. If you have it finish at 9 minutes and 11 seconds, you have the MJF match finish at 9 minutes and 11 seconds. And I think you have that of you can't beat this faster, and it's just the fucking same,
Just make it very clear that these two dudes are even Steven.
Yep. And then, at the end, that's when MJF hands CM Punk his first loss at the next pay-per-view.
God, you're so dumb.
Nope.
You're so dumb.
Nope, because CM Punk can take a not clean loss, and MJF will give him one.
Yeah, especially if you are going to turn CM Punk heel. Mm-hmm. You can just start that process then. Yeah, I think that was great wrestling podcast content.
I think so too.
Do we have more stuff?
We have a street fight.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking about the women's match.
And then, Tony Khan, you forgot about the women's match.
I knew about the women's match. I meant, did we have anything besides that? Okay. I'm very excited for this women's match. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you can main event with it because Cody's doing a street fight in his hometown.
I don't care.
I mean, me neither, man. But I think Cody cares.
I don't care.
But it's your two favorite wrestlers, Ryan.
Yeah, but then you put it in my least favorite stipulation.
I mean, depending. The street fight
honestly, though, I don't like street fights. I don't like no DQs. I don't like, especially when it is two wrestlers that I think could just put on a fire match in the ring. Like Cody's big style that he, that just wrestle, like ground mat work and stuff, with Andrade doing that plus a little bit of his high flying stuff. Like, I think you could just have a real good match between these two. And then you throw in, garbage cans full of kendo sticks and shit like that. Like, that's why I don't care about this match. It is two of my favorite wrestlers in the company right now, and Andrade has been doing incredible things for the past month. You're just putting it in a stipulation that, like, it protects both guys on the finish. What are we protecting Cody for? People are throwing his fucking belt back. Like, we don't need to protect this guy. Let him eat losses.
Yeah, I don't get why this is a street fight. And I'm a little softer on some of the hardcore stuff than you are.
Mm-hmm.
But is this like a feud? Is this like, Are they enemies now because of a loose association with Malachi Black, who Cody Rhodes beat the last time?
Well, and the loose association that Cody has with Pac, because that's who Andrade was feuding with before this.
But it's like, are they friends? You know, are we supposed to just like give a shit? Because I love Andrade.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I would have loved to have this without Cody in it. Whatever you were doing with Andrade and Malachi Black and Pac, insert fucking anybody else than Cody, because Cody's doing his own shit of just not being able to get over with the fans and being a babyface heel. You know?
Oh yeah.
And
heel babyface.
Right. And he is.
And he is.
And that's the thing, is that Cody could be doing that without screwing up like the things that I'm most excited. Like, we got Bryan Danielson, we got Adam Cole, and I'm most excited to see what we can do with Andrade and Malachi Black. Like, I want to see Andrade wrestle every week with his big old huevos breaking the pants. It's just
his huge huevos.
And that was the thing, is when I saw that, I was like, Tai Chi?
Pop. Yeah, man. Just like whatever it is that Cody's doing, it needs to happen, you know? Mm-hmm. It just...
Pull the trigger.
Something needs to change because it's not working, and this is coming from two guys who have cried at your wrestling matches twice.
Yeah.
You know? Like, this is not the best work of your catalog, Cody. Go back to the good shit.
And the thing is that, I think wrestling opinion, like my opinion of a wrestler changes with their storyline and everything like that. Like, it's not that... Like, Cody will be my favorite wrestler. He's the one who basically got me into where we're at now with AEW. But, like, I can also just not give a fuck about the storyline and be over it, you know, and just not care when he's on TV. And that's okay. Like, that's the thing. We don't have to like everything that they fucking put out, and we don't have to pretend it's great. Like, this Cody stuff hasn't come off. It's going to be good once you get him into wrestling people that matter in his storyline of being baby. But if you're going up against, like, Malachi Black's not a face. Like, he's cheered, but he's not a face, and neither is Andrade. So what are we having these two wrestle for?
Right. What is the point?
Yeah.
You know?
Go on.
Like, what's the point, man? Like, Why? Because if it's not for a reason, all you're doing is having these guys wrestle each other week in, week out. And that was the fucking problem with the WWE.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just can't do that. You just can't have the same, you know, four guys in this circumstance: Pat, Cody, Andrade, and Malachi Black. You just can't stir it around and continue to mix it up and expect me to give a shit, because I don't.
Right. I agree.
And I would like to. Like you said, Malachi Black and Andrade are the most exciting guys in AEW in terms of, like, upside potential.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just wasting them here.
You know what I would love? Maybe Malachi comes out and pretend to help Cody and then beats the shit out of Andrade, and then we get Malachi Black and Andrade wrestling each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, you know, you just have Andrade win here.
Yeah,
and then Malachi Black wins the TNT title, like you said, and then Andrade and Malachi Black feud for the TNT title.
Sure.
And Cody Rhodes turns heel and starts a feud with a young babyface, Wheeler Yuta. I don't give a shit.
Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Bring back it was the first match on TNT. Bring that shit back.
Yeah, but now, you know,
flipsy
flopsy. Now Sammy's the face and Cody's the heel.
Exactly.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Long-term storytelling from Ryan.
And your final match of this week's AEW Dynamite, at least that we know about thus far.
Yeah, they'll throw in a Dante Martin something.
Of course they will.
His first match as a Team Taz, gear change probably into orange.
Yeah, and he'll look good.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's because Darius is coming back and he's going to save him.
Yeah.
That's my guess, but we're not talking about
what's Leo Rush going to be doing, considering that they just announced him at the first show that I bought tickets to, and him and Dante are teaming together.
You know, whatever you'd like.
Yeah.
Maybe Leo Rush joins Team Taz. Whatever.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. I bet that jumpsuit he wears would look good in orange.
Big old donger flopping around.
Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander
Can
for
you keep
the
that in there? Does it have to get
TBS
cut?
Women's title. Griffin will listen to it and make a call.
Griffin, write that down. Make a call on that.
Do whatever feels right, Griffin. TBS Women's title tournament match. Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander. Ryan is broken into pieces because you guys
This
know
is
it.
good shit.
You
Let's
know
keep
why.
it going.
What if you just kept the whole thing, including this?
If you keep the thing, if you keep it in there, you have to keep all this in there too.
Yeah, man. Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander in the TBS Women's title match. Not Ruby. Fell apart.
No matter, we just gotta keep this shit. This shit's gotta stay in. This is good podcasting.
No, because when I fuck up, you want to keep it in, but when it's you decide you want to leave it out.
Because you
not
hardly
fair.
ever talk about Leo Rush's dog.
Not fair. Not fair. You're not being fair, right?
So even if you cut the part where I say it, you could leave the
that
part
part
in about me saying,
where
because
you
then
mention
people
it.
wonder what the cut was.
And speaking of Leo Rush, Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander in the TBS Women's Title Tournament. These are my...
Eliminator.
What's that?
Eliminator match.
Yeah.
Up.
Bracket.
Yep.
It's a long title, Tony, is all I'm saying. You know, it's like you could come up with a better name than Casino Battle Royal is all we're saying. And same thing for TBS Women's World Title Eliminator. But these are my two favorite women's wrestlers in AEW, and they are going to get like 15, 20 minutes to be good. So this is just fine for me.
We saw the brackets when they came out, and this was instantly where you were like, "Yup, this is something else." You know, this is it. This gets you excited. You know, it's Ruby Soho doing, you know, her. I watched a little bit of her in the E, very very small sample size of when she was in the Riot Squad. But watching her being a singles wrestler is fun. She is good. She's quick. She moves well, and putting her up against someone like Stat, who's bigger, moves well, is going to just be, I think, possibly women's match of the tournament. You know, close second at least to Deeb and Sheeta.
Man, like, I had never seen Ruby Soho. I had no idea what to expect.
Popped hard for it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Was absolutely blown away. Like, she is liquid charisma. She's great in the ring. She's just fun, you know?
Yeah.
Even on, like, Ethan Page's vlog when Ruby Soho's on there, I'm like, man, Ruby Soho's just great, you know?
Yep.
And Chris Statlander is, and I feel like this is all I ever talk about with Chris Statlander, a fucking freak athlete.
Yeah. You talk about a couple other things about Chris Statlander, but
I mean, I'm big fan.
Yeah.
She does 450.
Only fan.
You wish. I mean,
I thought I was going to get a pop harder on that one.
$14.99 probably. You think about it.
Worth it.
I mean, you know, Paige Van Zant has one. She was on Dynamite last week. A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's like, who gives a shit?
Less interested.
Do you know what I learned about?
What's that?
Dan Lambert, 48 years old.
Oh, man. I guess that's what the difference between what a wrestler and an MMA fighter looks when they get old.
Yeah, and people are like, man, Jericho looks bad for 50.
When you get pretend punched in the face over when you get real punched in the face.
Yeah, big time. You know, I think that Ruby Soho is your eventual TBS Women's Champion.
You hope so.
And I said it last week, man, you're going to get to some sticky points in this tournament. Mm-hmm. And this is one of them because Chris Statlander deserves all the flowers she's gotten in AEW. She's, you know...
Future women's champion for sure.
For sure. But, again, not her time right now because, you know, Ruby Soho happened and... You're just as grateful for that as the rest of us are because you want to dance with the best dancers, and she is really, really good. Like I said, having not seen a minute of it, I was instantly won over when the final was her and Thunder Rosa.
Oh, yeah.
And, maybe that's a testament to Thunder Rosa too, but I mean, it definitely is. But Ruby Soho has done everything you could ask for in her first 3 months of being in the company.
And I think the one thing that, it just came to my head now is that we watched Thunder Rosa and Ruby Soho for a chance to go after the women's title. And I think we're going to see Thunder Rosa versus Ruby Soho for a chance to win win a title. And that was, Tony's long-term storytelling right from the beginning is that these two will be wrestling a lot for the next, however long they want to do it for. And I'm here for it because, like you said, when they came out and it came down to the final two, and it was like, it just shows how good they both were, is that they didn't work together for very long. Ruby Soho said that she came in that day, so it's not like her and Thunder Rosa were out training.
Right. Calling it out,
So.
But, goddamn, man, like, there were some, little bumpy points in this tournament, little stuff that maybe wasn't as exciting. When you really start refining this women's roster down to the top of the card, there is some very, very good shit happening. This is definitely a part of that. I think we're both in agreement that Thunder Rosa wins here, or not Thunder Rosa. Oops. Ruby Soho wins here, yeah?
Yep, for sure.
But... high expectations for a great match, and I don't think we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is that they've kept a couple women out of this tournament because they were in the world title picture, which, you have more at the top. You have probably, I'd say, 8 to 10 women's wrestlers that you can count on to get, 4.5-star match every single time you're out there. And, one of those isn't necessarily the world title holder at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Because she's too busy being the most charismatic women's performer in the world today.
And you love that.
DMD. Let's move on.
Notice how the Jamie Hayter fan over on this side didn't do it.
Oh, yeah. I
bitch,
did notice that.
Simp bitch.
Hey, it's fine. Sorry. Me and Tony Schiavone are both idiots, I guess. Me, Tony Schiavone, and Adam Cole are just big, stupid, dumb idiots because of how much we like Britt Baker.
Man,
Cole, Tony Schiavone, Adam Cole, and every other person that watches Dynamite besides you and Jamie Hayter are just big, stupid, dumb idiots because we brains. Go DMD.
Yep. Smooth brains.
Let's move on to the main event. The number and the demo.
You want me to try it again?
What's that?
The main event thing. You want me to try it again?
No, I wouldn't. Unless you're feeling it.
I'm not feeling it.
I'll pop for it if you want me to. The number and the demo. Everyone's favorite segment where we talk about, statistical viewerships despite none of us having a math degree higher than a college Calc 1 class on my part.
Nice.
Didn't mean to brag.
I had someone else take my test for me in my math class.
Wow. Admitting to academic dishonesty on the Mudshow dirt sheet. I hope they take away your fucking high school diploma.
Oh, no, that was my culinary degree.
Oh, I hope they take that away.
My associate's degree. Please don't take away my Associates of Applied Science degree.
No.
That I use so much.
No.
That got me my job.
Did it?
No.
Is that true?
I mean, I got sent there from the recruiter from the school, but said they were overpaying line cooks in Champlin. You want to go work there? And I was like,
yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Surprisingly good number last week for, what turned out to be Drinksgiving, which we forgot.
Yep.
Both of us as we were doing the number.
Yep.
Still picking up 890,000. Can't be mad.
Huh? Demo was a little bit lower than usual, but it was Drinksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have to go first this week because the most recent one that we didn't split was...
Forever ago.
Forever and ever ago. Not a very top-heavy card, Let's just do like 0.34.
I'll go over. I just think you got Darby, You got Punk. You got Danielson. You got a fire women's matchup. You got Andrade and Cody is the stinker of the card, you know.
Say it louder.
Stinker.
Say it louder so 2018 Ryan can hear it.
Stinker of the card. But I mean, I think that you can get over 0.34 this week, even with the live West Coast feed.
I hope so, but 0.31 is low for this show, but I think it reflects, some of that post pay-per-view malaise. Feels like this audience gets a little hungover after a really big event, which Full Gear definitely turned out to be. And I just, maybe a couple less eyes, but
sure.
I'd be very happy to see an over because I love this shit.
Sure. I'm going to go 933.
Oh, man, that's a good number. You said 9, and I was like, this is close. Oh, man, that just feels like you hit it, didn't it?
It did.
You just said it one number at a time?
I was sitting here, and I was looking outside trying to have something come to me, and then it was like a softball coming down the plate, and I was like, oh, I've seen that before. Foomp. Had one of those loaded bats, sent it into the third row.
So if I want to create the biggest spread for an outright winner, I would have to take the under.
Yep.
But I like it too much to hope that it does 800,000, I guess I'll take the over. I'll just be optimistic about booking, take the over. And yeah, I mean, if I hit it dead and the number's like it's got to be not Meg next time. Is that fair to say? That it can't be Meg next time?
Be Meg next time. Probably shouldn't be Meg next time.
Feels like Meg was a bad idea.
Maybe I'll bring in bourbon or tits.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely crazy. Dear listener, we thank you so much for...
Thank you so much.
sticking with us this week, which it probably feels like you're doing. Please hang out while we do thank yous. Let's just rattle them off quick. Me, Twitter, Tex Mahogany. Ryan, Twitter, @TheGGRP, all caps. Griffin, art director, executive producer, filmographer. Did I miss any titles, Griffin?
Editor,
absolutely. On Twitter, @SugarlessPha. On Instagram, @GriffMurnane. Oh,
Griffin
I knew
Mern.
that it was half and one.
Griffin Mern.
Griffin, executive producer,
man.
art director, filmographer, editor. On Twitter, @SugarlessPha. And on Instagram, @GriffinMern. Music, Dom. Instagram, WaistbandMN. Ringer is loud. Dominic _Jadrich. Dominic _Jadrich.
Can also find Griffin at your local Oath Keepers meeting.
Jesus.
Pop.
And 8 Coon. Dear listener, join us next week for more
Only
Smart
one running
Wrestling.
non-anonymous.
AEW Anon.
Putting his first and last name as his username.
Just doxing himself.
At Griffin Murnane @8coon.com.
Send your appreciation to Griffin. His email is ron.watkins
@AOL.com.
@hotmail.com. Join us next week for more Smart Wrestling takes by Dumb Wrestling Boys.